So you're curious about how to sell paint projects. I completely understand where you're coming from. I was there not too long ago, honestly. And from me and my business, this year we did a little over $800,000 in revenue. And this is only our third year in business. There are certain things that we picked up along the way that we basically kind of figured out on how to like capture at decent rates and conversions at like an optimal charge rate. So whenever it comes down to it, you just got to start with the actual process of your sales process. So just one, having a process in general is the first step, because just being aware of what you're saying before, during, and after the actual sales appointment is more than half the battle. Okay, because like whenever it comes down to building trust with a customer, it's usually just how many times you interact with them and what is the quality of those interactions and how much value are you bringing to that interaction. Okay, and the person who really comes in there throughout the entire experience that delivers the most interaction and the most quality, for each interaction is generally going to be the one that the customer is going to feel more comfortable with, and the trust is going to be a lot higher. So they'll be a little more comfortable spending more money with that person. Okay, so just know like there is a pre-positioning part to the actual process. There's a presentation portion and there's a post-positioning portion. So this actually works whether it's like in person or virtual. I'm not going to dive into that now, but just know the overall concept is there's tons of things you can do before the estimate, or such as automation emails, automation text messages. You can send direct mail for like pre-positioning information. You can send them a confirmation email, a thank you note for their time over the phone. There's a lot of stuff you can do, okay? And like the possibilities are endless on what you can do. Just know that like if you're not doing anything before that, during, or after, somebody else in your area probably is, and your chances of converting at a really nice rate drop significantly. Okay. Even like during and after, there's little things you can do that can kind of set you apart from somebody else. Like you can basically elongate your sales process and kind of like, basically handle every objection before it even comes up with the customer by giving them like social proof. You can talk about like price packages. You can talk about paint grade, literally all of the options that they can kind of dive into. Your job is to kind of explain and show and articulate everything for them, and you to do it in like a professional manner to make them feel really comfortable with you. Okay. So again, just have a process. Being aware of that is more than half the battle. And once you actually have your process, just kind of polishing it is your next step. So what I mean by that is, just whatever your process is now, like whatever you're doing, just know that somebody in your area is probably doing the same exact thing, if not a little bit more. And, if you're a contractor that is looking to sell at really nice price points, and you're pretty like high up there in, relativity in your marketplace, then, it's going to be kind of tough to win more work if someone's doing a little bit better of a job at polishing their sales process than you. And that's honestly all it comes down to, because the customer is judging you specifically on that experience, all the way from the initial call down to like the final follow-up. Okay, so, even in our situation, like I'm constantly figuring out ways like, what can I add to our sales process? What can I do differently? What can I do to provide more resources and more value for these customers? Okay, because like, there's always room for improvement. And then with the amount of people hopping on like painting groups online, everyone's exchanging information. So whether you're good or not right now, you always got to be expanding and kind of like increasing everything. Okay. So after all of that, like let's just say you polish it and everything's good to go and you're actually in the field selling. The next and final step is just to go absolutely gangbusters with everything you're doing. Okay. So like the amount of objections you have in your arsenal, like, do you have a way of handling, everybody's objection? Doesn't matter what comes up, whether it's price, time, or like, it doesn't matter. Like, do you have like 45 different objection handles in your arsenal that you're really comfortable using? If you don't, then you can always improve that. So in terms of going gangbusters, go gangbusters on like your learning and kind of like how much stuff you got backed up in your arsenal. You could like literally just increase the lead flow and the volume of your appointments. You can increase your conversion rate. You can, better polish your sales process. You could, tweak and, differentiate your training program with your sales reps. whatever it is, just kind of go above and beyond with everything you're doing. Because again, if you're not doing that, somebody else in the area is. And, that leaves you at risk for like them going to work for that person, or like you just, basically losing work in your area and your conversion rates going down a little bit. So that's what I boiled it down to. Again, just there's so much more into this stuff that you realize if you're just starting out. So take the time to kind of like research, become aware, and really just kind of like stay humble throughout the process. And, if you genuinely have that approach, you're not going to have an issue in the paint industry, because there's a huge opportunity gap. And that's obviously something that we figured out pretty quickly and capitalizing on. So until next time, I hope that helps. I will catch you guys in another video. Thanks.